Hey everyone, welcome back. We're still going through Age of Apocalypse. We're at the final last few issues. We got like 4 or 5 more to do before the whole series is done. It ends with X-Men Omega. It's been an interesting ride and fun revisiting it, but to tell you the truth, I'm kind of getting excited to be able to move on to some other stuff besides just X-Men and Age of Apocalypse related stuff. So we're here looking at Factor X number 4, final issue of this X Factor. What do you call it? Spin-off? It's not spin-off. It's the like bastard child of X. Anyways, Factor X, where we're following Cyclops and his ultimate struggle with this his brother Havok, who's still and always a dick in these issues. It's cool, and I've said this multiple times, and not having read this as a child, all these issues, I only had the first issue. Rereading it now, I'm enjoying this book more so than many of the other titles. It's just interesting to see the inner workings of Apocalypse's empire, and showing a team that were villainous at the beginning. Cyclops had kind of a heart of gold, and he ended up being like the hero of the story, more or less. But it was kind of cool because he was a bad guy. He was a disciple of Apocalypse, you could say. They were sons of Mr. Sinister. But Cyclops in any time has a heart of gold, except when he turned to the Phoenix. Never mind. So, where are we at in this story? I don't fucking know. Well, no, I do know. Cyclops met up with Jean Grey. She's around. They have kind of a connection. They are on the run. They're trying to free some prisoners from the pens or the kennel. I can't remember what they call it. It's one of those. But Havok knows that Cyclops is kind of a turncoat. He's always been a little shit fuck, and always jealous of Cyclops, so he's ready just to kill him and be done with him. You got Evil Beast back here. You got Sam Guthrie, Cannonball asshole, and his older sister, not his younger sister Paige in Generation Next, but his older sister. And then these two guys, the Bedlam brothers, they call them. All part of like this team, and now Havok is in charge because Cyclops, has switched sides, more or less. So here's cool shot. This artist, Steve Epting, I've talked a lot about him, and I'm going to continue to do so. And I'm liking his art more and more so as I go through. He has just a very basic style. It's not too terribly stylized. It's definitely different enough for me to be able to identify him. I don't know what he's done since this era, if he's done anything recently, and if his style has changed or not, if he's improved or gotten worse, which sometimes can be the case. But I liked looking at his art here. For whatever reason, I've was reminded of my own art. Not saying I'm as good as this guy, especially with his backgrounds, but there's something about it that just reminded me of my own kind of stuff. And I never really knew that until I was looking at this kind of stuff now. I don't know if I was influenced by him or not. Maybe subconsciously I was. Havok's ready to kill people. Cool shot of him. Very menacing. Anatomically accurate. Composed very well. These guys right between his dick. Under his dick, between his legs. Good stuff. And then it establishes what they're looking at. They're up here. You just see like this prison where they were doing experiments. Mr. Sinister and Beast was doing experiments using their genetic makeup. Mr. Sinister was doing this to basically find and create a weapon against Apocalypse, which was X-Man, which you learn more about in that book. And Beast is, now that Sinister's gone, he gets to run everything, and he's trying to create more advanced soldiers and whatever. But by Apocalypse's order, now that Sinister is gone, he just wants to get rid of these. Like, they're not fit for survival, just like kill them. Beast is kind of, protesting. It's a crime to squander the genetic makeup, but he's like, you're in no position to argue. You let fucking my brother escape. These two, the Bedlams, these brothers, and like all the characters in this book, except for Beast, were like siblings of some kind. These two are brothers. Havok and Cyclops, of course, these two right here, brother and sister, and then you had Aurora and North Star. They haven't been around. I think Cyclops took them out, but they were twins, so it's kind of interesting in that aspect. But these two, while everyone else are assholes, these guys kind of have a heart of gold. You know, they're like they enjoy the good life. They're mutants, you know, but they're just kind of seeing the suffering more and more, and they don't like it. And they're talking about how it's not necessary. He's like, we're mutant elite. Fighting alpha rebels is one thing, but slaughtering the weak is beneath our station. The Guthries kind of get in their face, and they, you know, these two sets of siblings start bickering to each other, and they're ready to fucking throw down. But Havok is like, no dissension in my ranks, knock that shit off. But cool opening page. I mean, cool splash opening page, but then this cool reveal. This technological pipes and scaffolding, or you know, walkways and walls, and the shadows and the graffiti and all this kind of shit. That's just really, really cool looking. You know, all these little details. It's not overt, but it definitely shows you what's going on. And you know, there are other artists out there who get paid a lot more or recognized a lot more, who aren't nearly the artist that this guy is. And I wouldn't even say he's cream of the crop. John Francis Moore is writer. I'm not really sure what other stuff he's done. But Steve Epting is the main penciler with Terry Dodson, who does some backups. And Terry Dodson becomes a much better artist as he goes on. But we'll see his beginnings in here. Al Milgram, inker, and then letters, colors, editors, all that nonsense. Yeah, just more talking, more setting up the story. This soldier gives a report, and he says Prelate Summers, the Gray woman, Jean Grey, and an unidentified rebel took out a squadron of guards. So he's talking about Cyclops, Jean Grey, and they met up with X-Man, Nate Grey, in X-Man number 4 at the very end for a brief moment, and they took out some people. So that's what it says here. And then Havok is fucking pissed. He's like, I beat him. Why won't he stay down? Why can't I just fucking like be victorious over him? So he's like, just find Cyclops and bring me his goddamn head. Yeah, Havok's just wanting to show people that he's worthy, that he's in command and all that. You know, Cyclops was going to take over for Sinister and be Apocalypse's horseman, but that didn't happen. So I can't get the camera right for some reason. Oh, but here's Rusty. Okay, come here, buddy. You can come up here now. What is on your nose? He'll be back. He'll be up here in a second. I kind of had to kick him off. He jumped up here while I was messing with the camera. I had to kick him off. He'll be back up here. Come, buddy. Oh, yeah, look at you. With the box. It's like my wife was decorating and rearranging stuff, and has all these boxes in random places. I didn't have a place to do this video for a while. Anyways, where are we? Yeah, Havok being a bitch. So we cut to Cyclops and Jean Grey. Cyclops was with his cool Fabio hair, and they're being sneaky, but they're talking to each other like, you know, she was in love with Logan, and that's, you know, love. You know, it was more, Wolverine felt, Weapon X felt that it was more of gratitude for him saving her. But now she's kind of feeling connection with Cyclops. Even in an alternate goddamn universe, Wolverine can't catch a break with Jean Grey. So, and they talk about like, oh, if this were a different time and place, something could have happened with us, you know, but doesn't matter. They feel a connection. But he's like, keep your head in the game. Oh, look at this cat. This is what I call Rusty in a box. Oh, shit. I got to make sure I get some Rusty content in these videos. I know several people subscribe to me exclusively for Rusty, which, you know, I can't blame you. Look at this little guy. Look at this guy. Anyways, back to the video. So Jean Grey and Cyclops is teaming up. They go running down the corridor. Cool kind of like one point perspective. Has some like action lines of them running. all this like detail, like weird technological like architecture, but it's cool. I like this down shot of all these fucking prisoners that are being ushered through or whatever. But the Bedlams, they show up, they find Cyclops first. And they're like, don't make us like fight. Don't make us hurt you. Cyclops starts pleading with them like, hey, don't do this. I can't stop now. You know this is wrong. And they kind of look at each other and they're like, yeah, we agree with you. Like, this sucks. This isn't what we signed up for. So they're not going to stop them. And it's like, you can read our minds, baby. I mean, it's kind of a cool outfit, but it doesn't make sense. These colors. Anyways, so they're basically, you go on, we'll hold off anybody who's following us, we'll buy you some time. And here come the Guthries. I like this shadow coming from behind, this wall. And they say, yeah, you guys take off, we'll take care of these two. And they kind of give each other a handshake. And they were in this, like, in the long run, and they know that there's no turning back after this. Like, they're basically going to be rebels. They're going to be outlaws. Their good life is gone after this. So we cut to Heaven, the bar done by Warren Worthington Angel. This is Terry Dodson art. And, his bar was kind of a place for, outcasts and outlaws and other people to go to, like, kind of get information, and deals were being made. He's kind of like an in-between man. So, and he had a couple people working for him. Uh-oh, we gotta look at Rusty again. Anyways, he had a couple of people working for him, Scarlet and Karma. They were caught and tried for treason. He's like grabbing at me. He's bringing his paw out and touching me. Like, play with me. Oh, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Anyways, back to the video. Is this a video for Rusty or comics? Some people want one, some people want the other. I can't do both. Well, maybe I can. Anyways, so yeah, he knew he was going to get found out sooner or later, and these soldiers come to, arrest him. And, for treason. He's like, I'll show you treason. He picks up the goddamn flamethrower, shoots these infinites. I don't know what they are. Are they robots? Or are they just genetically modified humans? I don't really know what they are. I should look that up. And then he flies away. Oh, hey, buddy. But he flies down this elevator shaft. He had an escape plan. He knew this day would come eventually. It's like, so much for playing both sides. Now I'm just one more fallen angel who will never see heaven again. Oh. So, okay. Back in the Guthries, they come. They're going to start fighting the Bedlams. And they start using their powers. One guy can affect circuitry. One guy has kind of psionic powers. It's kind of confusing. There's Rusty. And let's see. Now this is where I always get confused because Rusty's in the way. All right, so they're going in, and there's this brain trust. Like, there's these 5 brains that are connected to each other. They used to be psionics, and they are used somehow by Sinister and the Beast to keep the prisoners in line. And they know they need to get rid of this thing before, so they can let everybody escape. So they're going in to attack it. These brains are fighting back. They're resisting. They're increasing their attack. She's being hurt in the head. Like, my wife gets hurt in the head whenever I start talking to her about comic books. But she's talking about how Logan taught her to push past the pain. And she doesn't give up, so she starts fighting against these brains telepathically. And fucking explodes, I guess. Skirash! and gets all this goo all over them. And she says she never used that much telepathic power before, but she was backed into a corner. And then these two show up. And I guess they took out the Guthries. Down for the count. Good job. And so they give them some more orders, like go cause a blackout in the main generators, and that'll help us too. So they got another plan. Good job, everyone. Upstairs, so this is Scarlet. She's a human. She was a singer at that Heaven nightclub. And she was working for the Human High Council, giving them information. But she was also having sex with Havok here. And they kind of developed feelings for each other. That wasn't part of the plan. She reveals here to him, and we kind of saw this coming earlier, that she's pregnant now. And that's what she tells him, because he's like, why shouldn't I kill you here and now? Because it's one thing to have sex with a human, but now it's like a human spy. He could be in trouble, so he's ready to kill her. But she's pregnant. And they're arguing about this. He doesn't know if he can believe her. But then the lights go out. They shut out, they cause a blackout. Shut down the generators. So, yeah, Cyclops and Jean Grey attack. They free all these prisoners and all these weird, creations in Beast's lab are able to get free, especially with the brains being destroyed. And it looks like they're about to... Yeah, they start attacking him, turning on the master, as he says. But he's not too, worried about them. Beast is fucking smart. He's a genius, evil genius, and he's fucking strong and ferocious. He's fighting with them. But, he's still... It sucks that everyone's escaping. Rusty, come on, bro. So Havok eventually shows up, and he catches up with Cyclops. Jean Grey uses her telekinetic powers, because he's ready to kill him. Look at his fucking red eyes, Jesus. She flings this ladder. She wants to knock him out, but he knocks it away or catches it somehow. Oh, it says, yeah, the brain trust cost you. You're weakened and vulnerable. But Cyclops, stay away from her. So they're gonna fight, and they start shooting at each other, but like anybody who knows anything about Cyclops and Havok, their powers negate each other. They're two just similar to each other. So they have to just engage in fisticuffs. Survival of the fittest. And Havok is still being a dick. He's still bitching about, being a second-born or whatever. And Cyclops just punches his ass. Get over it! And he knocks him out with one punch, I guess. And she's ready to kill him. She's like, we should finish him, but he doesn't want to do that. He won't kill his brother. That could be a problem later, but he's like, I'll deal with that later. So they're ready to get out of here. They got everybody out, and here's the big final shot, the heroic shot of these two leading these prisoners to freedom, and gives a little speech. Somewhere out there's a better world. I only hope we have time left to find it. And in the finale, Havok laying here, flames everywhere. He's woken up by this beast, and he just kind of vows vengeance again and is going to bury him. So, final desperate battle between the forces of Apocalypse and the Resistance concludes in X-Men Omega. So all these issue number 4s are wrapping up everything, and I'm going to conclude in X-Men Omega. A lot of these X-Men number 4s have some kind of depressing deaths and messages. The story's leaving kind of a dark place. This one, not so much. It kind of ends more on a hopeful thing, but, still uneasy. So, fun, good, entertaining comic, good art, solid storytelling, solid artwork. Everything about it is good. It's not the greatest thing in the world. You know, I can't like say like you have to read Factor X, but you know, it's anyone who does isn't going to like waste their time. So I enjoy this. It's one of my probably top 3 favorite books of X-Men Apocalypse, Age of Apocalypse stuff. Astonishing X-Men, maybe Weapon X, but those a lot have to do with the artists in them. Good storyline. So let me know what you think of this, and where does it rank in any of your Age of Apocalypse books that you've liked? You know, is it towards the top, towards the middle, at the bottom? Towards the top for me. So thank you for watching. Hit that like and subscribe and share button and do all the things. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.